Soundstripe.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? It's been a minute. It's been a minute. This your boy Superb. Birds of a feather flock together. Welcome to another episode. We got a little few free agent frenzy going on tonight. I got a couple of partners that's going to be pulling up with us tonight. And then don't forget also, we do the draft night live. Also, I got a couple of ex-Eagles coming on, current Eagle coming on, and then some Eagle fanatics, crazy fans that's going to be coming on also draft night live. Remember, don't forget, tune in on draft night. We're going to be exposing all the picks and everything. What should we do, what we didn't do, and then who we picked up also. And once again, I got a couple of my partners coming on tonight. So I'll actually bring in one of my partners right now. Just hopped on. Got my boy Bone in the building. What's going on? My brother, what's going on? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can't hear you. We got Troy right here also. Troy in the building. What's going on, my brother?
What's good, brother?
Hey, Bone. Can you hear Bone, Troy? Okay,
Nah, I can't hear him either.
Okay, perfect. What's going on with you, my brother? Introduce yourself to the people.
What up, everybody? It's Troy from the DMV. Been an Eagles fan for a lifelong since I was a little boy, man. I used to take them drives up 95 like it wasn't nothing.
Say less, say less. Say there you go, Bone. We hear you now. What's up with my boy Bone? What's going on with you?
You got a loved one. What's good with y'all, man?
Oh man, same old shit. Introduce yourself to the peoples, my brother.
Man, my name is Bone, man, out of Long Beach. Been an Eagle fan since '92. Been repping and riding, bleeding green ever since.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got topics for the night. Free agent frenzy is a topic for the night. You know what I mean? Want to get into it right now. You know what I mean? With just before we do that, I want to talk about Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox retiring. How that means a lot, not just on the field, but in the locker room, also with that veteran present. And luckily, we was able to keep Graham. You know what I mean? To sign for another year. How do y'all feel that this is going to impact the team? Bone, go ahead and start us off.
Shit, I think we prepared for this, man. We had what's the name? We drafted for to replace Kelce.
Yeah. I feel that
What's
I
his
feel
name?
that
Jergens.
Kelce approved of that too. He wanted us to get Jergens.
Yeah, he vouched for him. Everything said that if how he leaving the team and with him, he trusts him 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel the same thing. But just with the acquisitions that we got right now, I'll let you go ahead, Troy. Go ahead and get your input before I jump in.
I'm gonna say it like this. I think it was great leadership wise. We need that veteran leadership to be passed on with Kelce and now Fletcher Cox gone. We needed to have Brandon Graham there. We actually needed him to still evaluate and be that defensive veteran presence that we needed on that O line. We doing a lot of D line changes on the D line. We doing a lot of D line changes this year. Could be detrimental to the team, but we shall see. But I think that veteran leadership is going to be big for us.
Most definitely. And we got Lang still there also too, so that's a big presence also with the new booties. But I feel that long as we got, you know what I mean, our coach, you know what I mean, right there still holding it down on the O line, I feel that whoever we bring in, we should be able not to just say fall right into place, but I feel that they're gonna be coached up well with the Eagles, you know what I mean, mentality, the O line, and I feel that we should be well prepared going into next year. Just my personal opinion.
Still got Jordan too.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
I agree with it. A lot of our O-line picks is being like handpicked by our older players. I've also heard our draft pick, which may be a guard at some point. They've been pushing Lane to try to get this dude. Lane been pushing the organization to try to get this guard from out of Oklahoma, big time dude. So
yeah. Most definitely. And then Fletcher Cox is big too, you know what I mean, with the loss, with that veterans presence. And then I just feel that that this is the year for Carter and Davis, you know what I mean, and Milton, you know what I mean, Williams to really get out there and ball. And then we'll talk about the new pickups that we got also, but the key things is being able to just keep Reddick and Sweat, you know what I mean, which we was able to keep one of them. But if we able to keep both of them with Graham, you know what I mean, out there also, and then we just picked up another outside backer too, I just feel the defense, you know what I mean, to be all right if we get a solidified safety back there, you know what I mean, to cover the deep threats. Nothing wrong with Blankenship, but I just feel he is a couple of steps too slow and a little too aggressive to me.
I agree with that, man. I totally do. Like Blankenship held it together last year when we didn't think it was going to be held together, especially after losing CJ. But everybody's sleeping on Nolan. Don't forget about Nolan on that D line. I think he's going to make a major improvement in his second year coming off of that edge. He now got Huff in front of him and Sweat on the other side, along with Reddick if we keep him. But he's going to be big for our second team defense. And again, back with the veterans picking players, I know Fletcher may have had something to do with us getting Jordan Davis the way we do. And he coached him up all year trying to get that boy ready for this year. So don't forget about Nolan. And now back in, I think CJ going to be a major improvement, man. It's what we need to solidify that safety in that secondary. He actually made Bradbury look good for us 2 years ago. As bad as Bradbury looked last year, single by himself with no safety up over the top, Bradbury looked average or below average. And CJ going to take up for all of them deficiencies that Bradbury lacked and make hopefully our pass rush can get there so our secondary can look elite again.
And that's what it's going to take also. And you notice the year that we led the league in sacks, we also look. CJ had 6 interceptions. That was tied for what
and
we
he was
had.
out for 8 games.
Man, and tied how many we had with the Eagles all this year. You know what I mean? So I just feel it's big and it's a common denominator. When you got good pass rush, you got to make the quarterback think quicker, get the ball out quicker, and that's when you don't have to be exposed on the edges like we was last year. We didn't get pressure, we didn't get that many sacks, and our edges got exposed, meaning Slay and Bradbury was getting exposed and didn't have a cover safety the way CJ was. He's coming from a nickel playing safety, so he's aggressive, a ball hacker. That's why he has so many, you know what I mean, interceptions, because his first instinct is being a corner, but at the same time he has that aggressiveness to make up for it in the speed also, you know what I mean.
That part.
Well, we haven't had a ball hawk like that since Jenkins, and before him it was Dawkins. So CJ going being aggressive like he was totally changed that whole defense, man.
Yeah, it did.
And the blitzing packages with the new DCs and the new DC basically he, like you just mentioned with Jenkins played closer to the line. You know what I mean? He was like a third backer. You know what I mean?
Be that physical dude
exactly.
Back there from the safety, right?
Exactly. And that's where I feel with the pickup of White. And then if we can get a healthy Dean or re-sign Cunningham or something like that, I feel that we'll be decent in the middle with the edges and the interior, you know what I mean, on both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? That will really, really gravitate and make Slay and Bradbury have at least a decent season where we're not talking about them losing games for us.
Right.
Man, I wouldn't even be mad if we kept Dean and Cunningham and placed them in the game at the same time and let one of them hold the right side down, one of them hold the left side down, you know, try to do something to get something out of those linebackers, which we haven't had in so many years, man.
And then one key thing that I'm going to say also that we didn't have the luxury of doing this year was having an offense that was scoring points and playing ahead of teams. We played from behind majority of the games. With even at 10-1, we damn near was behind like 7 to 8 of the games and then made thrilling comebacks in the fourth quarter. And so with this year, I feel our defense is going to have the luxury of being able to play with a lead.
Right.
Man, our offense was predictable last year. That was one of our biggest downfalls. Just as our defense was predictable after the 10 wins, and we, like you said, we constantly had to come from behind because the defensive coordinator wasn't going to change his mind no matter what we did. He wanted it his way or the highway, and it ended up being the highway. But our offense became that same predictable offense.
Both sides of the ball. It's very typical play like a high school JV team. I didn't even give them varsity because varsity is still trying to run college plays right now, preparing your kids for the next level. I just feel that we stunted, you know what I mean, on both sides of the ball. And that could have been a major reason why Fletcher retired and then another thing that irked me also, I love our quarterback, but when we got like like close to the goal line, we was always doing a tush push, giving Jalen a touchdown. Like you were trying to make your quarterback be the MVP talks and
Man,
conversations when you took the ball completely out of Swift's hand. And then if it wasn't Jalen, you bringing in Gainwell or Scott to score a touchdown and take it out of Swift's hand when he got us down there. That's like very disrespectful. For the last 2 years, we did that to our backs. You know what I mean? And to Miles, we did that, and Swift, and they both was 1,000-yard rushers though. And you taking the ball out of their hand drastically. It's like you didn't want the market to be set to pay a back, but then you go ahead and pay Saquon $13 million a year, which, you know what I mean, which Swift wasn't healthy, did have ball trouble. Miles same way, you know what I mean. But I feel overall you get both of them in one in Saquon.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'd say like yes, we had 3 goal line plays last year, and it pissed all of us off. It was inside handoff, tush push, or a damn wide receiver screen, and
Man.
that's all we ran for the whole
Yeah.
season. And our offense became so predictable. Getting Saquon and a new offensive coordinator, hopefully it'll be able to change the dynamic where we can actually run some rollouts, some screen plays, some inside handoff still. Anything that we can do, maybe even a wildcat with Saquon, because he's done it so many different times. It could just change our offense so dramatically.
And even with Saquon in the backfield and going out to the slot, you create a blank space in the middle of the field where Goddard is going to eat, because you have to take one of the linebackers with him, and you're creating a mismatch off the top anyway. There ain't no linebacker in the league that can guard Saquon one-on-one. And so they're going to have to come up, play bump and run to try to avoid him from getting the momentum, and you're creating a gap in the middle of the field. And I feel that this may be Goddard's one of his best years as an Eagle, because he's not going to just be the third or the fourth options. He's going to sometimes be the second option in plays, because now you got to pick your poison. I'd rather let Dallas Goedert beat me than Smitty or AJ or Saquon. You know what I mean? They're going to so that's going to be the person at the DC feel that that's our weakest. If we just gonna let him eat, just like take it in the basketball frame. You know what I mean? Like I would rather let motherfucking Bill Cartwright beat us than Scottie Pippen and Jordan. You know what I mean? So that's where they gonna take it into consideration. Like, man, we gonna take away the top off the offense and then just let them eat underneath. You know what I mean? And that's where he gonna get his money at this year.
Right.
Man, as good as it is to have Goddard as the fail option, as good as a player as he is to have him as the fourth or third, or if this is the guy you leaving open, hopefully we can exploit that, man. Jalen did it in the beginning of the season. He just fell off with it toward the end of the season. And it kind of pissed a lot of us Eagles fans off, man. We not getting no plays over the middle, and defense is keyed on that. All of our plays were to the outside, whether it be a deep pass on the outside or a wide receiver quick out. That's what most of our plays was. Or like you said, a wide receiver screen. Sometimes we did it from 20 to 20, and then we did it again when we got to the 5-yard line. Like that was the greatest play ever. But hopefully we'll learn how to hit that man over the middle, and that'll be that open hole. It's going to be pick your poison this year. Pick your poison with what offense you want us to have. You want to let the running game win? You want to let the tight end over the middle win? Or you want to let the receivers beat you on the outside? And if you do cover all of them, man, now you got to worry about Jalen. Hopefully he keep his wheels right this year and don't have that bummed up knee like he had, where he can actually run, make some, good gains running the ball, not just running just because nothing is there and then falling 1 yard after you cross the line.
Big facts. And also too, one thing that I'll say before I let you give your input also, I want to keep Jalen on upright this year. I don't need him running the ball unless it's mandatory. Like you just mentioned, with all other options taken away, then you got to take in consideration Jalen Wills. You know what I mean?
Right. That's the biggest thing, man. You got to keep that man healthy. Put too much money in him for this organization. He going to be that dude for us. Keep that man healthy.
No doubt.
Big facts. With this, I forgot to go ahead and share the screen. I'm talking and I'm clicking it on the second screen, but I ain't showing it. But this was mentioning Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelce retiring, and then we had talked about the pickup of Saquon Barkley. Now, I'm gonna hop with you, Bone, since Troy was just talking. What do you feel this cat brings to the Eagles offense, and how important was it to get a running back of this caliber?
A whole nother dynamic, man. You see what he did behind that line with the Giants. The Giants line was trash.
Big
You see what
facts.
Swift did with us?
Big facts. Big facts.
So Saquon is gonna be so dynamic with us. We just gotta use him right.
He just got to stay
Keyword.
healthy, man.
That
He
was
got to
about to say.
stay healthy. He
He
got to
gonna
stay
stay healthy.
healthy.
That
If he
line
can stay
behind
healthy, he could be a 1,500-yard rusher with us. He could be a CMC, 1,000
Yeah.
yards receiving, 1,000 yards rushing. He could be the old Brian Westbrook that we used to have. He had every down back, which we ain't had in a while. First, second, and third down, because he
Yeah.
can beat you in the passing game on third down like he can't beat you in the run on first and second down. That's something we ain't had in years.
And
see,
you hit, and
Yeah,
Troy, you hit.
too.
And Troy, you said a name too that I was about to say. That's why I'm glad I let you guys go first. I feel that this is the Christian McCaffrey
That
factor
part.
right here. Like you seen what Christian McCaffrey did when he was with Carolina. Yes, he was unhealthy at certain times because you're having to do too much as being the team on your back. And the same thing with Saquon. Saquon had to do so much with a 31 ranked offensive line with the run, and he's having to do so much because as soon as he's getting the ball, he's making a move, not trusting his offensive line because he's always thinking that it's going to be a opposing player in the backfield as soon as I get the ball. So he's trying to do too much, and that's when you put the wear and tear on your body. And I feel that's where the injuries came from. When you're overusing your body. Here, you're able to trust. He's smiling. I ain't never seen him smile so much, and he ain't even put on a piece of gear yet to get out there and experience the O-line, but you play against him 2 times a year for his entire career. You see what the benefits. I know he didn't set it in his head during games like, damn, wonder if I was behind that offensive line, what could I do? You know what I mean? And so imagine Christian McCaffrey before San Francisco coming to San Francisco. Now we're talking about Barkley before the Eagles, now coming to the Eagles. I feel that this is poetry in motion right here. Same situation. And like Troy said, we're about to get 1,000 from this cat right here. He can catch, he can run. He's creating mismatches. You know what I mean? He's about to give us 1,000+ on both sides, on the receiving and the rushing easily this year.
Yeah. Man, repetition killed him in New York. You get so many plays, as soon as you get the ball, it's one man behind the line already. That's why he caused all that jumping and scooting and all them sideways movements that he was doing in New York. It became repetition to him. As soon as I get the handoff, somebody on me. So if he can do without that, and as soon as he get the handoff, it's a 2 to 3 yard gap before the next defender, like we had with Miles, like we had with DeAndre. Like them boys was balling. They wasn't balling like this before our offensive line became solidified like it was about 2.5 years ago. And once Miles started doing this thing, and then Swift became the recipient of the better part of that. He got to see the great offensive line that we had his career year. Got that man paid out in Chicago right now. You was talking about somebody that was about to be out the league. Same way they talked about Christian McCaffrey in Carolina. The same way they talked about Saquon in New York. It became repetition. You behind a bad offensive line for so long that there's nothing we can do about that. Now you put them behind a great offensive line, and they look like they fresh all the way into the fourth quarter.
Facts. And look at who else benefited. Jay Ajayi benefited from this offense too, rectify his career, which he didn't do too much after the Eagles, but he got a ring. You know what I mean? So I mean, I just feel like Saquon is a big pickup, and I know a lot of defense right now and defensive coordinators are scared. Right now, it's like you have an offense right now like this. Who do you focus on? That's what I mentioned. It's crazy. And then we got Parker as you know, of course, I'm not going to compare him to Deshaun Jackson, but he gives us that Deshaun Jackson threat over the top, something that Quez didn't give us because Quez couldn't catch the ball. You know what I mean? He wasn't reliable. You know what I mean? This cat right here is proven. He ate us up when we played them the first game of the season. You know what I mean?
Man, hopefully he's not along the lines of Aguilar and like you said, Quez, hopefully he's not along the lines of them who can get over the top but just couldn't make the damn catch or was 50-50 with the catch when we were trying to peel the top off of defense. They usually had nothing to worry about. They could leave a man wide open. He might drop the pass. You never know. But, you know, hopefully Parker can give us what we need, like that threat over the top so that the people on the outside and up the middle have some wide open space.
Campbell too, though.
Campbell, I was just about to say Paris too. Paris too, and it's like that's why I say it's like a pick your poison right now with this offense. You're like, who are you gonna guard? Who do you double team? Who do you focus on as a defensive coordinator? You're giving nightmares when you're playing Philadelphia, like them nights when they say that they don't leave the facility, stay up all night having to pick up schemes. It ain't no scheme to guard this. If everybody play their part and everybody don't have that Terrell Owens, we don't have that Terrell Owens AJ Brown moment like we did last year. You know what I mean? When after that he had a career 5-6 games after that, but then the offense suffered within that same time. You know what I mean? If we can have an unselfish offense right here, because everybody's gonna eat by bringing Saquon Barkley and AJ Brown benefits, Smitty benefits, Parker benefits, and Goddard benefits. But the person that benefits the most is Jalen Hurts and Keelan Moore. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I think the addition of Campbell is more so he gives us that little Edelman vibe. If we need a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, he that little slot receiver that can just go across the middle and just sit still. I'm gonna just go sit down 5 yards deep. We get the easy pickup. If I break it, I break it. If I don't, I don't. Parker a little bit different though. If he in the game, he directly trying to run a go route, a deep post, something like that. You won't see him running many comeback routes like AJ and Smitty would be doing on the outside.
Kind of
Parker
like
definitely
a
gonna
cut.
try to right. He's definitely gonna try to take that top off the defense every chance he gets to try to extend the plays and push players further out so that we have those wide open underneaths, which is what
Correct.
AJ and Smitty thrive on.
And Dallas and Goddard.
Yes.
It's just gonna be a beautiful thing this year, and I'm here for it. And then speaking of offensive coordinator Keelan Moore, Bone, how important do you think this pickup is? Even though he ain't no winning offensive coordinator, but he has experience in that position.
I mean, he put up numbers with Dallas. He wasn't winning, but he put up numbers.
Yes. He even with average players, this was before Dallas. Before Dallas had all the players that they have now, he was the guy making that look good in his younger days. You got to remember. A lot of people don't remember that. And again, out in San Diego, he had a better team than what Dallas had, but he had a young quarterback going with that, learning on the fly.
Yeah.
San Diego since blew that whole ship up and said, now we're going to go with the quarterback as the veteran and leader of the team instead of the receivers that they had. So Kellen Moore's been through a lot of it, but I think he definitely got what it takes for our offense to succeed.
No doubt. The best candidate to me.
And I feel he was kind of like a slap in the face with the Chargers, because he had a defensive coordinator that was trying to become an offensive coordinator and a head coach, and you're taking away from his creativity when this is a young coach in a league that could still be playing quarterback. You know what I mean? Due to injuries, whatever the situation may be, and he has a more in touch with the youth. You know what I mean, with what's going on right now, and I feel that with this offense, it's like, I mean, this dude is licking his fingers right now. Can't wait for the season to start, because I just feel that he brings a totally different dimension than what we had last year. And I'm not going to compare him to Shane, because Shane, I didn't see how important Shane was until he left. But I feel he gives us that Shane factor that we need back.
No doubt, no doubt.
Man, you can't blame. They let this guy be the fall guy for them not being able to pick up 1 yard on 3rd or 4th down all of last season. It ain't his fault that this is the only running back you have on a team, which is a pass catching running back. What's his name?
Eckler.
Eckler, man, he was okay, on 1st and 2nd down, running the draw up the middle when you've been throwing 30 times a game. But when it came down to you need to pound that rock and get 1 to 2 yards, Eckler ain't that guy. That's the reason why they had to throw the ball so much.
Big facts. And like you said, he was the fall guy.
Yep.
And Bone, what you think about this with our DC?
Veteran DC. We needed that.
Yeah, and I feel that he was supposed to be with us last year anyway, also as our DC. You know what I mean? When Miami came to
he
snatch
helped out with us that 1 year, right? Didn't he help out with us?
Yeah, towards the before the end of the season, before he had to go. Year. Yeah, exactly. And so I feel that he was supposed to be here, and that also attracts Simmons. You know what I mean? From Denver. You know what I mean? If he wasn't, if he was just if he was still on the roster and was getting and still on the team, I feel that he would be in trade bait with Reddick. You know what I mean? I feel that we could have even swapped him, but him being a free agent, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, he has the option of going to whatever team he wants to right now at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. And he's able to pick and choose who he wants. And I feel that by us being the familiar defensive coordinator that he was just with, I feel that that would be a perfect landing spot for him is with the Eagles.
Right. He usually got a top 10 defense too every time.
That's his biggest thing. His defense has always come together and become a top 5, top 10 defense in the league. That's a veteran presence that we needed, that we haven't had. Again, he should have been with us 2 years ago. He chose to go to Miami for the money. Now he want to come back home where his family is, closer to home, and play with the hometown team for him, which is what he wanted to do 3 to 4 years ago when we won the chip. Like you said, in those years when we was winning and doing our thing defensively, he was the guy who was our little special help defensive coordinator or whatever. Yeah, just there to put a bone in somebody's ear, say, hey, this is how we should do it. I think you can just do a little change on this, and it made the defense look way different.
Yeah.
Big facts. And then we're gonna talk about the pickups right here. We're gonna go back to this right here, but we're gonna talk about the key pickups right now so far. You know, we talked about Saquon. We ain't talk about Huff from the New York Jets. You know what I mean? I feel that that's a real baller to pick up for us. And then huge also, like you just mentioned, was re-signing Graham for another year. You know what I mean? I ain't about to even try to say this name, but I'm gonna say the tight end Albert. And then we got Zach from New Orleans as another. He ain't. I mean, I seen film on him. He ain't the fastest. He ain't the slowest. But I just feel that this is a decent pickup for us right here for debt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know nothing about him.
Man, he played the run real well in New Orleans. That was his thing. He was an outside linebacker who played the run real well. He'll play his side well to that point where if you see a run coming that way, either he gonna make the play or he gonna break the play up for somebody else to make the play. That's the type of dude Zach Bond was. He wasn't no superstar. He was just a solid player, man. He gonna play his side. You know what you're gonna get, and just take what you get out of him. You're gonna get 90 to 100 tackles maybe if they come his way, but he will make damn near all of them. He won't have many missed tackles. I tell you that.
And he gonna take away the outside and force the play inside. You know what I mean, like he's supposed to do. Also, and then bringing back Dickerson, you know what I mean, renegotiating his contract again like they did Sweat. I feel that this is a big pickup with Hennessy. People's not talking about that as much, but that gives us another veteran center. You know what I mean? If Cam is, it goes down or whatever the situation may be. And this is another guard present also where we get a 2-for-1 with Hennessy with veteran presence. You know what I mean? And I feel that that's a big pickup right here that's not doing having too much talk about it. And then, of course, we picked up Mann and Lovato, the long snapper and the punter. We talked about Parker, CJ, not re-signed, but remodified Elliott's contract like Sweat, so that
Aaron Rodgers too.
Exactly. And then Devin White was a pickup, Josh Sweat, like I mentioned, and then Kenny Pickett. What y'all thinking about Kenny Pickett and Will Grier as the pickups as our quarterbacks with the departure of Mariota?
Kenny Pickett ain't nothing but trade bait, man.
For next year.
Yeah.
I think they just placeholders, both of them. Both of them are placeholders. It's the same way we looked at Nick Foles when we got Foles back a second time. All right, we know what he's going to give you, just a veteran, somebody to be there in between if we need him for a week or two in between if something go down with Jalen, or even if we so far ahead where we can sit somebody and say, hey, let the backup get some reps. He definitely need to get most of the reps in the preseason so we can see exactly what it is we got. Will Grier is like a journeyman quarterback. He's been through the league with like 3 or 4 teams I know. At least he was with Dallas for a while and a couple of other teams.
And Patriots.
And the Patriots. So he's been with a couple of teams and a couple of different coordinators in the league. You know what you're going to get out of him. Somebody who's just going to push that back up to be that much better. But getting back to some of the signings and things that we did, like Landon Dickerson, people underestimate. We drafted Landon as a center out of Alabama. He was an all-pro center out of Alabama. So if something happens to Jurgens, the pickup of Hennessy is big because now he can go to his original position, which is guard, and we can put Landon Dickerson at center if need be because this guy was all-pro in college at that. Granted, he's been an all-pro at guard in the league for 2 years now, back-to-back, which is why he was due the contract that he got. He deserved every minute of it. But you want to lock those inside guys up early, man, so you can get those outside guys like Smitty who do those big paydays this year to be able to get paid.
Facts. Big facts. And that, like I said, that's a under the radar pickup that's not being too much mentioned, where you get a 2-for-1 in an offensive lineman. And it's rare that you have one that's proven himself already. You know what I mean? And coming to a proven offensive line, that's a perfect compliment for both of them. You know what I mean? In my personal opinion, I feel that that's just going to be like a perfect fit for Hennessy and the Eagles offense.
Right. So I feel like Landon and Jake was due. They both proved they worth the last couple of years. Jake's been the second best kicker in the league behind the guy out of Baltimore, which we all know big trust is what everybody look for when they want to kick it, because he can hit them at 50, 60, 70 in the rain, sleet, or snow. And Jake did that for us last year and won several games that way.
Yeah.
But one name we slept on. Go ahead, Bone.
He right with him.
Right.
He right. If he's not right with him, he right behind him.
1 and 1A and 1B. That's who they are, man. And I never have if we got him, my hands are already up, because the field goes good from 62 on and when it comes to Jake. But we slept sleeping on talking about Bryce Huff, man. He was the key to the Eagles' downfall kind of defensively last year. He broke us down as a defensive end playing the Jets. The first team to give us an L last year was the Jets, all because of that one guy. He made problems for Mailata and he made problems for Johnson the whole game, no matter what side they put him on. He dominated our ends, our outside tackles, for a young dude who got to bend like old. I want to say an old LT. He just don't have that speed like an old LT, but he got that bend like a Derek Thomas and LT, where he can get around that edge, man, quicker than a lot of people. He finally figured it out with the Jets, but the Jets wasn't going nowhere with him. They kind of an up and down defense. They don't know what they really want to do. They want to make it about their linebackers, or do they want to make it about their line? They lost Leonard Williams like that, playing it from him. He went from one New York team to the other New York team, didn't he?
Yeah. So
again, the Jets, who knows what they're doing defensively?
They got the brothers too. The brothers too. That they did a big part too of that L we got against them last year too, 100%. And like I mentioned, that's a big pickup. That's why it's kind of like Reddick with that payday that Reddick is asking for. When we got that right now on the outside, like you mentioned, Nolan, we got Huff, we got Sweat, and we got Graham for another year. We can afford, to let Reddick go, which we don't want to, but we can actually afford it right now and pay Huff half of that and get the same productivity, if not better, with this type of defense that he's on right now.
Yeah, we're gonna get something for Reddick too. We're gonna get something real good for Reddick.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we do, man.
Yeah.
I think he's going to Arizona, man. He's going to go back in Steichen's defense and be what he wanted to be with us when he was with Steichen, when he was all pro. So if we can get something out of Arizona, that'd be nice. A couple 2s, maybe a 3 or something like that. I know they're not giving a lot of money for DNs that want $25 million. Arizona, one of the few teams that can afford to pay him and have a need in that position. Don't sleep on that. Right. Don't sleep on Atlanta, too. Atlanta's the same way. They can afford to pay him, and they have needed that DN position. So if we can pick up a second this year, maybe a second next year, or a third of this year, however they want to do it. That's how we do how we season things, which make us look great. But we can always pick up an edge rusher in the 5th or 6th round, and somebody think was supposed to slide that far, that was projected as a second or a third, and then happened to slide because of needs for teams when it come down to it. So 25 mil was a steep price. You was asking Bosa money for somebody who didn't give Bosa effort last year. We got it 2 years ago, and now last year, which is supposed to be your make or break year before you get paid, you had a mediocre season. Granted, it was because of our defensive flaws and fallbacks or whatever you want to call it, but it wasn't a 25 mil per year season performance. It wasn't. We offered you 20, you didn't want to take it, you turned it down, you was making 18. So it was a $2 million bump, and you didn't even want that. You
with a bigger guarantee money. Bigger guarantee money.
Right. So that's how we do it.
Any kind of like a one-dimensional, which nothing wrong with it. Please don't feel that I'm knocking him by saying it, but I don't feel that he's a good cover backer. He's a good rusher against the pass. You know what I mean? But I just don't feel that he's good to drop back in coverage if we need him, especially with Vic Fangio and his defense. He expects that from his from his outside backers, and then against the run, he didn't make too many tackles. It was a lot of missed tackles this year. You know what I mean? So like it wasn't that, like you said, a mediocre year. This wasn't just a break it year, the payday year.
You right, homie.
Man, if we can get a Chubb type of effort out of that dude this year, he can get that money from anybody he wants. whether it be from us or another team. We still got him under contract for this year, even if we don't trade him, which would be a great asset to us if we can keep the guy for another year and get a max effort out of him and then let him go get paid so it don't cost us anything. Especially when we have replacements that are ready to be in position for that. If we can get that Jalen Phillips or Bradley Chubb type of expectation or push out of them like Fangio did those guys, man, he turned them guys' careers around basically.
He did.
Big facts. And I just feel that we got good problems that we're talking about right now.
Great,
you know what I mean?
Great.
And then we'll talk about the key departures. We talked about Kelsey and Cox retiring. Byard went to the Bears. This is somebody I see that be re-signing back with us right now is Maddox, you know what I mean, for a discount. Then we had Swift left to the Bears also. Marcus Mariota to the Commanders, Morrow to the Bills, Jack Stahl to the Giants. We got Sewell to the Bucks, and then Jack, should I say, to the Dolphins. Which I feel that the bottom two right here is two big losses, but what we have right here already, I feel that we'll be all right, especially with the key pickups of Hennessy and what's the other little young cat, Steen or whatever, you know what I mean? Tyler Steen, if I'm not mistaken. I feel that he gonna be a key person this year to get some playing time. Also, if anybody go down or something like that, he's a multiple player. Also, he can give us either side guard too, and not like that too, and a center position.
Yeah.
Man, and then the offensive lineman, that inside lineman that we lost is big time. But we got to keep that core group, like you said, with those pickups, bring them up to speed quick. Bring them up to speed quick and put them where they need to be so they see how our offense flows with our backups. You got to be ready to step in, whether it be for a play, a series, or a game. You got to be ready.
Amen. Next man up and ready to go. And then we'll talk about the most expensive offenses this season. Let me blow this up a little bit. We talk about the most expensive offenses. We're going to go up. You see the Browns at $188 million. Most of that is because of Deshaun Watkins. And then
Judy just got
Watson.
paid.
Should I say Watson?
Who?
Jerry Judy and Deshaun Watson hold like $50 million, $60 million of that cap value with just those two players.
Big facts. And then, the Rams, they were just paying everybody to get that Super Bowl, you know what I mean? So they still in debt, Matthew Stafford, stuff like that. And then the Cowboys with Dak, you know what I mean? It's just horrible GM. And then, if you look at it, the top 5, 6, 7 is basically from quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Is the quarterbacks that they paid. The Broncos with Russell Wilson, Daniel Jones. You got the little dude. What's his name in Arizona?
Kyler Murray, shortest quarterback in history.
And then the same thing with the 49ers. They paid everything to try to get them a Super Bowl. They paid Hargrave, all them folks on all that money, Christian McCaffrey, all that to get them over there. So they in debt. And then with teams that people don't talk about as much as the Colts, you know what I mean? And the Panthers would be in that far in the most expensive offenses with just paying people just to basically pay to play at their facilities. You get what I'm saying? And then we talk about the Saints, the Texans, the Jags, the Bengals, the Lions, Dolphins, Raiders, Vikings, Bills, Seahawks, and then you got the Eagles with this offense that we just talked about. And this is where we're at 22. That's why this man right here deserves GM of the year every year.
Can we please just say, get that man GM of the decade so far?
You know what I mean?
The moves he done made and the money he done saved the Eagles and the way he worked out contracts for us. Nothing more than a magician, man. To be 22nd ahead of offense that we had and have the viable, capable defense that we have and still be able to add the players that we do year in and year out. You hear more players saying they want to come to the Eagles because of that guy right there and the way he laid it out for you. I'm going to give you this hefty signing bonus. We pay you little through nothing throughout the year. It's damn near like base pay money. It's just like show improved contracts for people. Some people are with it. Some people can't do it and can't handle the job. But Howie, man, deserves GM of the decade so far.
And also the key person too that said it, the proof was in the pudding, was C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He said that he grew up, he basically took the same amount of money that he offered, how he offered, but he expected more. He let him hit the market, and he was like, yeah, I should have came back home and signed, but your pride is a motherfucker, you know what I mean? And it's negotiating contracts and everything like that. And then you look at it, 115 million, and we just added 13 million a year for Saquon. And we're still at 22 million a year. I mean, at 115, you know what I mean, at number 22 for this year. And I just feel that we have room for improvement. And don't forget, how much did the salary cap go up this year? You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean?
Right.
Exactly. So we got room to add more people. And I feel that's where the Simmons chain, you know what I mean? We're going to get somebody, a veteran presence at that safety position that's solidified. And then you guys look at it, we're not losing nothing for throwing Blankenship on the bench. You know what I mean? Or being there if we need him more special team player. He's still on rookie contract. You know what I mean? So we're not about to have to pay him for another 2 years. You know what I mean? So that's not that bad to pick up somebody, pay him a little some, you know what I mean? If they're able to sign a 2-3 year deal, that's the biggest thing. If we don't have to sign them to no 4 or 5 year deal, we're able to work that and then still be able to give Blankenship a decent contract when his rookie contract expires.
Right.
Man, if you could go up from 1 to 21, you could see either bad contracts on most of those teams or necessary contracts on all of those teams, where some of those bad teams like the Raiders had to have somebody put in the seats for a team to come out and want to see them. Same like Carolina Panthers, and then you go to the Texans. All of these teams, they got bad deals somewhere in there, or they had to have a necessary deal just to put people in the seats to want to see them. Even if it do be the beginning of the season or the first 8 games of the season, when it's still up in the air how teams are going to be. That next third month kind of determines how a person or a team season is going to be. If you're going to go downhill from that or uphill, and that's usually around the time the trade deadline comes. And that's why all of those bad deals are crazy. If you look at the Eagles team at 22, what bad deal do we have?
Man, say less. And they could talk about paying Saquon the amount that we paying him, but
not a bad deal for us.
Look at the salary cap, the amount that it went up, and the amount that we're paying these players. Like Jalen was like the top 5. I mean, the top 3 in pay with quarterbacks before these other deals came in, and it's a team friendly deal. You know what I mean? And that's what Howie is getting, these 10 friendly deals. You know what I mean? And then they letting you know, like the renegotiation of the contract with Dickerson and Sweat and Jake Elliott. We're giving you this money. We're like Sweat was due 14 million. He took 10 because he know he gonna get that still on this back end. You know what I mean? The way that Howie works his magic. So like other teams are not fortunate to have somebody with the experience. And I feel what gave Howie the fire under his, you know what I mean, his behind is when they let Chip Kelly come in and run shit. You know what I mean? It made him basically go to the janitor's closet. You know what I mean? And then when he was able to come back, he had something to prove. You know what I mean? Not just to Eagles fans, but to Jeff also. Like, this is the cat that you took my job from, but let me show you how you really run this. You know what I mean? Right. And I guarantee you, Jeff and his wife and his family is thankful for this man, Howie, right here.
Thank God for Chip Kelly for showing him what not to do. You showed that man how to lose a job in the NFL. You basically gave him a whole rookie year to sit on the bench and watch how it shouldn't be done.
Big facts, and he took advantage of that, man. And I feel some people say that, you know what I mean, they hated Chip Kelly as coming to our team. Yes, but this is the one thing that I feel we benefited with having Chip Kelly. Yes, we got to bring a different style offense, been one of the first ones to bring in the explosiveness, Oregon offense into the NFL and create that. But at the same time, we didn't lose really from that, but a couple of key players like Shady, Macklin, Deshaun Jackson. You know what I mean? We lost a few key players from that, but then we ended up, bouncing back right after that. Look how quick Howie bumped us back from those key departures that I just mentioned. And not even including losing Donovan McNabb to the Washington Redskins and whatever other teams he went to, you know what I mean? From that.
Putting
and
Mike Vick in as a Band-Aid.
Man, and we still right here as one of the top elite teams in the NFL. Every year you can hear commentators talk about the Eagles as Super Bowl contenders, but then they throw the Detroit Lions in front of us because of our defense and our non-tackling abilities and stuff like that, and the typical offense that we mentioned, typical defense. But this year we get the
bro.
blessing of having proven OC and a proven DC with these proven talent that we have on this roster, bro. We got the best roster in the NFL, hands down.
Scroll down past 22 where we at. I want to see how many of those teams are actually still either rebuilding or starting to rebuild or actually championship contenders. If you look at it, it's only like 2 or 3 that have championship aspirations this year. Packers being one of them. Maybe the Bears. Well, not even the Bears, but the Ravens and who else?
You got to take away the Chargers. You got to take away the Chargers because they gave away all their players to be down
They're
that low.
rebuilding. They in
Yeah,
rebuild
they
mode.
rebuilding.
The Steelers are in rebuild mode. They got a whole new quarterback. The Buccaneers are hoping they can keep the old thing going with Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield. The Jets are hoping that Aaron Rodgers can do his thing with a couple more weapons. The Commanders in rebuild mode. The Titans in rebuild mode. So a lot of those teams are in rebuild mode and not built to win now and have that flexibility that we had.
And only one team right there that I can see that has championship aspirations, like you mentioned, and that's number 23. You know what I mean? You could throw the Packers in there from their season, but they're not going to be a sleeper team like they was last year. You know what I mean? They're a good team, but people ain't going to underestimate them like they was. And then the Bears, they did a lot of pickups. You know, Aaron Rodgers is the Jets, but none of those teams below 23 are anywhere near 22 and 23.
Right, in that class. It's a different class with 22 and 23.
Big facts. And then we're going to jump into CJ Gardner-Johnson. You know, I feel that besides Saquon Barkley, I feel that this is the second biggest pickup in the offseason for Howie. We able to solidify this guy back. I was sick not having him last year and then being able to bring him back this year. And then for him to come back, you know this is where he want to be at. He know he messed up, you know, in his press conference. He said a mouthful and made me back a fan of his. You know what I mean?
He was a game away from Super Bowl.
Man, and the only thing I dislike about him is that he changed his number to 23. I mean, 23 to 8, and I got his jersey and he bounced. So now I got to get a number 8 jersey. Hey, you know what's crazy though? Let me say this though. This is something off topic though. So I live here in Arizona, and last year, you know what I mean, when we was in the Super Bowl, the actual ESPN experience, all that shit was here in Arizona, right? So I went down to the ESPN First Take, you know, got autographs, pictures with Molly, Stephen A. Smith, Dan Orlovsky, you know, all the Ryan Clark, all of them. So I'm getting Dan Orlovsky to sign my program. And he trying to sign it and he can't sign it. So I'm like, you know how you turn around, let him use your back, his name on my CJ Gardner-Johnson jersey.
Oh my
so
God.
So you know how FanDuel, I mean not FanDuel, but where you buy your ticket, NFL Fan Edge and all that, when you buy your ticket and the player leave, I mean you buy your jersey and the player leave, you're able to send it back and exchange it for another player's jersey of your choice from the new team. But I couldn't do it because Dan Orlovsky signed my damn jersey. Pissed me the fuck off. Like, who wants your autograph on my CJ Gardner-Johnson jersey, homie? Like, he pissed me off. But the only thing on the bright side though, where I was able to get is I was able to like he got some twins and he got like 3 kids and his wife, all of them are Eagles fans. They all was there wearing Jalen Hurts jerseys, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown jersey, and he basically gave me the ball and I was playing catch with the twins. So I was like, that made up for it. You know what I mean? I was like, that's cool. I was throwing it up right there, throwing it to the kids and everything like that, and that was dope. And they was Eagles fans, so I was like, oh man, I just took, you know, as a slap on the wrist. You know what I mean? But then he comes back, so now that gives me an opportunity to have number 8 also. You know what I mean?
Man,
but I feel
he a huge pickup, man. He definitely a huge pickup. He said this is his people that he looked up to was either Kobe or Jordan. That's why he went from 23 to 8, and he wasn't willing to rock those numbers. He didn't want to do 24 because when he first came in, I think Slay had 24 at first.
Yeah, he went over to
1. Right, so he just honored Slave like, you got it, I'll take 23, which is Jordan next best thing. And now this year's coming back. He like, I got to do the Kobe as my second year coming back type of thing. But he a huge pickup, man. Everybody know our defense on the back end was horrible last year. It was
And,
horrible. Blankenship did what he could do to lay the hits and stop the tackles, but we had no other safety willing to go get the ball, willing to do
Yeah,
anything.
playmaker, man.
but
Sydney did pretty
Sydney,
good
he's
for
gonna be
us
big.
towards
That's
the end
where
of the
I
season.
feel. That's
He the
where
one
I
hit.
feel. That's where I feel with the pickup of Simmons that allows CJ to just roam the field, like
Yeah.
just to be that rover,
Ball hawk.
the exactly the ball hawk that I spy on a quarterback, whoever. Like it allows him to just give him the creative space to play within, and then like I said, like. Anything happens, we got Sydney there. You know what I mean? I feel that with this year coming up with the injury, I know he's around watching film, all that type of shit. And I feel that he's going to give us the best year possible. If he don't be able to come in until week 6, 7, 8, or 9, that's even better for him and us as a team, where he's able to sit in this new offense, see it, and be able to learn it, and then be able to get out on the field, hands on. I'm excited more about this season than our Super Bowl loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel that this team is stacked and ready to go.
Come on, man.
CJ allow us to do one high safety, the same thing Sydney did, because he can cover both sides of that field, which allows Blankenship to come down in the box and be that run stopper if we don't have Justin Simmons there. So Blankenship can fill that role as that run stopper and allow CJ to run that one high where he can just roam the back of the field and see which way the quarterback looking. That's the same thing Sydney did for us in the last year. That's how he had that 90-some yard interception return for a touchdown.
The biggest choke
sort of
game
similar
of the
to the
season.
same. Man, it's the same sort of play that CJ can make for us, though. That's the big type of veteran leadership that you need to see the young guys like Sydney, who was a rookie last year, coming in and doing his thing as a rookie, balling out. I'm going to give you my all on every play. I'm flying to the ball, whether I hit or miss the guy. That's the same type of play we need out of CJ, but with that veteran leadership, it'll allow him to bring it down just a little to make more plays instead of miss more plays like Sydney did.
And what CJ brings with the same input that Sydney brings is wide receivers is going to be looking for him coming across the middle. That we're going to have that mentality this year. Come across the middle, you better have your head on a swivel or it's getting knocked off. Last year, we didn't have that. You know what I mean? Blankenship was a popper, but he was a little slow. With Sydney and CJ, they more speedy. You know what I mean? And they bring in a lot of hammer with them, and they're gonna have wide receivers and wide receivers and tight ends second guessing with their head on a swivel coming across that middle, 100%.
Absolutely.
And then this cat right here. This is another sleeper people don't talk about as much. I mean, which we are talking about, but I feel that this dude really solidifies our defense right here. Like Morrow, Cunningham, they gave us what they could, but this cat right here is a Super Bowl winning middle linebacker. You know what I mean? They talk about his flaws, they talk about whatever, but right here, man, I'm gonna let y'all go into it, but I don't see no weakness right here with this defense that he's coming into.
Nah, man, he was just ready to go. He wanted a second chance somewhere else, man. He was just ready to go.
That man
you don't
got a
fall
taste
off
of
like
the
that
championship.
young, bro. You too young to fall off like that.
He got a taste of that Super Bowl winning culture when they had Tom Brady in Tampa, and he missed that. He didn't have that last year. But that's basically your coach on the defense, something that Vic Fangio needed. Some veteran presence over the middle that I know I can rely on for these younger guys, like the Nakobe Deans and Morrow's gone now, but some of the younger guys. We basically got him for almost nothing on make it or break year contract. It's like 1 year, $4.5 million, up to $8 million with incentives and stuff. But he can be that dude, that difference maker for us over the middle, the run stopper that we definitely need because that's his expertise right there.
Boy,
he is the run stop dude. He will fill that gap for you better than anybody else. Those big men up front put that lane there for him. He gonna make that tackle. That's the big thing I can appreciate with him.
And he's gonna take control of the huddle. He's going to tell you to shut the fuck up in the huddle. He's going to run this as a present, and Graham is going to allow him to do that. He's going to have the dot on his helmet. He's going to demand the respect. And I feel that he's going to sign a multi-year contract with us before the end of the season, blessing that he stays healthy. That's all it is a make it contract. This is a 3-year, $18 million contract right here for this cat with us. You know what I mean? Coming up, if he's able to stay healthy, and that solidifies our defense. You know what I mean? We lock CJ in. CJ's locked in for 3 years. You know what I mean? We got Carter and Davis on rookie contracts. We don't have to pay them for 2 years. We just got to worry about Smitty right now.
Right.
And I feel it's a blessing. And then we can't forget, I heard you say his name earlier also, Isaiah Rodgers. This is something that hopefully he gets reinstated by the beginning of April. That's a huge pickup for us, where that's the nickel corner where we don't have to stress on worrying about picking up Maddox back. You know what I mean?
I think he done took Avonte's spot. Avonte's biggest thing was he a playmaker when he with the team and healthy, but he wasn't healthy enough. He was injured 65% of the time. That 35% that we got of him was great for us to see because he locked dudes down in the slot. He played that spot well. It's the same thing Rodgers do, man. But Rodgers, we still got him again on that rookie deal, but we ain't got to pay Maddox that $12 to $15 million a year for a mid-level veterans, exception contract as a slot corner. We got Isaiah Rodgers, who's still on his rookie deal, getting like $1 or $2 million a year. He ain't getting that much
and
money
pissed
for what
off
we
sitting
paying.
at home. And
Right,
pissed off sitting at home.
Right. He know we gave him a free year last year with pay, and now this year he'll come in and he basically, again, another guy that's on a show improved contract. Show this is your 1 year to ball out and show us what you can do, and then you'll get that extension deal that you need for a little or nothing or mid-level money, because we all know that the TV revenue money going to go up even more next year. It went up $20 million this year. They just added Amazon onto that. Amazon is a top 5 business out there. They're going to get the NFL more money to get more than 1 game or 2 games a year. It's coming.
Big facts. And then we mentioned Huff. Like I mean, this is just how he and Magic, man. I'm a loss for words with the free agents that we able to pick up, and we still have $39 million in cap space right now to sign somebody. That's why I feel that we're going to get 2 more people that really is going to help out with our offense and our defense. I don't care what nobody say. This Howie ain't done yet. Howie going to wait until the draft. We're going to end up getting Trotter Jr. You know what I mean? Trade up for him, trade up for Bowers or somebody like that to help out with our offense. But I just feel we solidified, and Simmons is already locked in. I just feel it. He's an Eagle. He did some kind of cryptic post on his IG not too long ago, and like 3-4 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, and that just let me know that he's trying to be an Eagle. He said something like "Fly Eagles Fly" or bird gang or something like that. It was something that one of the moves that we made, and then he basically commented on it with some kind of like Eagles lingo. I'm not too sure of it. I don't want to sit here and lie on live, but I'm pretty sure I'm 100% sure it was Eagles related.
That's why he ain't signed yet. Now he holding out.
Man, I tell you what, Howie did his thing again with the acquisitions. That helps lock up our line if we do lose Reddick. You got Devon White at the linebacker to help lock up us over the middle, and CJ on the back end. 3 key additions to that defense is going to make huge dividends for them young dudes like Carter and Davis in the middle. And we still have the other brand, Nolan Smith and the Kobe Dean. All of those young guys who balled out in college. They balled out and showed their worth in college in 2 to 3 years. Give them 2 to 3 years.
One of them gonna step up this year. One of them.
One of them. All we need is 1 or 2 of them to step up. 1 or 2. If Smith can step up and Dean can step up, then it takes the pressure off of White having to look stupendous. It takes the pressure off of Huff and Reddick. Or if we don't use Reddick, or Sweat drops back because, hey, you just a veteran presence now at this point, and Smith has surpassed you at this point in his career, being younger than what you are. You got to take it for what it is. To have that veteran leadership on every level of the defense, something we haven't had in years, since the 90s.
Right. That's why I feel we need to sign Cunningham again, where we don't got to worry about Nakobe Dean as just being, like you mentioned earlier in the show, he can just be thrown in on certain sets. We don't have to just worry about him. Yeah, right. Just be a guy. If Cunningham come back, I feel that we solidified the complete defense with the signing of a veteran safety. And I just feel that, now, no disrespect to Blankenship, I just feel that we need a little more speed and a little more experience back there with a game changer at that position.
Yeah, I'd be fine with Blankenship if we keep him, but if we can get Simmons, that hammer on that other side of that ball hawk, again, that's something that we ain't had in a long time. Since Jenkins and Dawkins was back there together. We got a hammer on one side and a ball hawk on the other.
Big facts. When we talk about Sweat with the $10 million guarantee with incentives when he was supposed to give almost $14 million, and him taking that, and that's that key word is incentives. You know what I mean? People don't take that in consideration, but with the productivity that he's expecting and knowing that he's going to get with this team, why not take that incentives and take that guaranteed money? And you playing basically a risk-free year.
You're basically paying off the same $14 million deal. You just changing your money around. $1 million to do the sign, $10 million for the year. The other $3 million is going to be in playing time incentive. We're going to make sure you play your 60% to hit your incentive. If you hit a certain amount of sacks, we'll give you a little higher bonus than what you normally get. That's an everyday contract in the league, and it was great for us.
Big facts. And that's a player saying that I believe that I'm gonna be healthy. You know what I mean? Betting on himself. You know what I mean? If you don't feel that you're gonna be healthy or be able to play at your high potential, then them incentives ain't gonna work for you. I'm gonna need more guaranteed money, and that's what some of them players do. He know his productivity is gonna be great, especially with this new DC coming in.
Right.
And then we talked about Devontae Parker, you know what I mean, coming in. I feel that this is a great pickup for us also. And then we talked about Zach. We talked about what's this cat name right here? It's
Igbono or something like that.
it's
Igbono or something. It's something crazy. It's a crazy name. Aqua Bugnum? No, not him.
linebacker.
Oren Burks. Is that Oren Burks? Was that
yeah,
Burks?
right. Yeah, it's Burks. Where's
Football.
where's his name at? Is he right here?
Yeah, he under Kenny Pickett over there.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Oren Burks, that's his name. That's what I was trying to exactly. And then we got Tyler Hall right here. And this is the cat also too that that replaced, what was his name? Greenway.
Greenlaw in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, in the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, and he was getting ate up. But like I say, but at the same time though, you're not expecting to play a down in that damn game. With those two linebackers, you're not mentally prepared, physically prepared. You're not nowhere near their Super Bowl mentally. You probably were just a special team player, but then you had come in, and now you're the key factor at the middle of the defense. Come on, that was a big change.
Come in and cover the All-Pro tight end on the other side of the team, who Greenlaw was the dude covering. Greenlaw was that cover defensive linebacker that they had, which allowed what's the other guy that they have at linebacker to be
Warren.
Allow him to do his thing in there. So he came in basically a second or third year dude who haven't had much playing time whatsoever, and you got to cover this All-Pro tight end. It's not going to happen. Not in one game. You can't simulate it in practice because Kittle's been hurt for the last 4 weeks. So again, what are you getting out of your defense when somebody's trying to step up, going against practice squad and backup players to come and now jump into the game live? Game action on national TV, the biggest one of all year around the whole world, to try to cover this All-Pro tight end Kelce, and it wasn't going to happen. No matter what he did. He played good and got, I think, 5 or 6 tackles, and he may have missed and got beat on 10 or 12 other plays. But you put that dude in position to just be a guy beside Devon White or either Nakobe Dean or whoever else we decide to put in Zach Bond or whoever else, he can be just that guy, like Zach Bond on one left side, Oren Burks on the other, with Devon White in the middle just pursuing everything. We got a good little linebacker core that I think we could deal with come season time, and then we got a couple backups behind them that if we need to plug and play and switch and change it out as needed, he'll do for the little amount of money that we got him for.
Big facts. And like I said, with the price that we got him for, and no a low risk move. This is a low risk move for debt, you know what I mean? And if anybody goes down, we got somebody else to solidify that position. And then we're gonna talk about a few more things before we get up out of here. We talked about Tyler Hall, and then we talked about the departure of Quez Watkins, which is with Paris and Devontae. That's a decent one that I'm cool with. So we can clear this where we talked about. So I'm gonna get your input on expectations for this season. We're gonna start with you, Bone. How far do you think realistically, and what's your expectations with this team that we're establishing, taking in consideration, of course, we ain't had the draft yet, and we ain't through with free agency yet.
You gotta check this out, man. We won 11 games last year, bro, with bad coaching on both sides of the ball. We fixed that this year, and we got better.
So what you got us being, brother?
I say at least 2 more wins of that. I say at least 13 wins.
At least.
Yeah.
I could say
Super Bowl. It's a Super Bowl than that, man. It ain't nothing else.
I could say the same thing. Our
With this
ceiling would
loss,
be the Super Bowl,
with
and
this
our
loss,
floor would be like NFC Championship game. It's just that close of a in between for us.
yeah,
NFC Championship game is what everybody's expecting us to be at. It's going to be us, the Packers, or the 49ers. Those three teams, maybe. Dallas
all right.
had a major fall off from what they
Throwing
did last
Detroit
year.
in there.
Detroit is that other if team. You know, if Detroit can be as great, they did it for 1 year. Can they do it back to back years? Now you're not the hunter no more. You the hunted with Detroit. So we're gonna see what Detroit and Jared Goff is made of. They done lost a lot of key people like CJ. He came back from that defense to us. They lost one of their other corners on a domestic dispute thing from the other day. They trying to cut that man from the team.
Facts.
He was one of their best defensive corners. So again, Detroit got a lot of problems and a lot of issues. Our floor would be NFC Championship game. Our ceiling would be championship. But I'm right along with you, man. 13 to 14 wins again.
Yeah.
And I'm right there with both of y'all. And what you just said, Troy, the very minimum is NFC Championship. The ceiling is winning the championship.
Right.
And I would see 12 to 13 games. The reason why I say 12, depending on how far away we are from that number one seed. If we're going to rest players, if you know what I mean, towards the end of the season, if we got that many games ahead, like you said, it's a lot of teams that's not the hunters no more. They the hunted, you know what I mean? And teams is going to be playing the 49ers like they played us last year. Like this is their Super Bowl. You know what I mean? It's teams that are going to be playing the Detroit Lions, like you mentioned. There's teams that are going to be playing the Packers. Yeah, they're going to be playing the Packers as their measuring sticks. Like these are my measuring sticks. Like look how far and what the Packers did last year. So now they're going to be playing teams where they're going to be comparing themselves in a measuring stick off of the Packers also. So it's a lot of teams that may not, like the Packers may win 10 games this year.
Now Packers got better, bro. They got Josh Jacobs.
No, but I'm saying in general, but they're not the hunters no more. They're hunted. So that's what I'm saying. Teams is going to be playing them like they used to play us as this is their Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
That's the greatest thing that could have happened for the Eagles,
Jordan Love is the next dude.
That's the greatest thing that could have happened for us. Now you got a rivalry with Detroit. Detroit and Green Bay can kind of beat each other up come to postseason time. So Detroit and Green Bay, they're in the same division. They can beat each other up come game time.
And Chicago.
And then you still got Minnesota in there who got a good team. They're just looking for a quarterback.
Caleb Williams gonna do what he do. We don't know that.
Right. Yeah. So the biggest thing is like we had Dallas. Dallas pushed us to be great. You know, maybe Detroit either gonna push Green Bay to be great, or one's gonna push the other and push the other one down. I don't see a scenario where both teams is gonna win 11 or 12 games in that Central.
That's what I'm trying to say, and that's my point right there. What I'm trying to say.
It depends on who their schedule is, though.
Yeah, but and then also too though, Bone. Look at teams like the Jets. Look at teams like last year the Bucks that we lost to in the playoffs. Like there's teams that we played last year that basically played us like we were the Super Bowl champions. You get what I'm saying? So now teams are going to be playing Green Bay harder.
I was bad play calling against that was bad play calling when we lost to the Jets. We threw the ball the whole game.
But how many games did they have like that the rest of the season though?
Who?
Not too many. The Jets. They
Jets competitive a little bit without Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I'm trying to say. And teams are going to play teams harder that went further in the playoffs. Like teams are going to play teams harder that went further in the playoffs.
But I kind of disagree with that also.
Yeah, and it could be up to interpretation, just like the Rams. Yeah. Rams is a sleeper team too that we can't count out. Also, you know what I mean? They're a sleeper team.
Aaron Donald gone is one of the biggest losses in the league. You just lost your J.J. Watt to an average team that was an average team last year that they overdid themselves on offense because of Puka. If Puka wasn't there, they wouldn't have been half as good as they was. And Matthew Stafford, we all know, was definitely on the downside of his career. But with the Tom Brady of defense, who's been 10 years in, 10 years on pro, you don't lose somebody like that and say, we're going to still be the same. I don't care what you try to plug and play on defense. They're going to take a major downfall that year in this division. Even as bad as Seattle will probably be a mediocre team at best, Seattle, you still got the 49ers who are going to dominate that division. The Rams may win 9, 10, 11 games, which would put them as a wild card anywhere in the league, but they won't win that division, and they're going to be a big downfall on defense. That's why they're piling up right now on secondary. We don't have that upfront push that we once had. Let our secondary try to be somewhat great, better than what they have been.
Big facts. Big facts. and I don't see too many other teams in the NFC that's going to be given a push, you know what I mean, for that. Like with Seattle, we just talked about new head coach, new all that. They're going to take a step back, you know what I mean, next year than what they was this year. And so we give us
Yeah.
Packers and the 49ers, I feel, will be the top tier teams for that NFC championship game. We're going to be those three teams going to be fighting for those two spots.
Right. I'm the same way with you. I think our Final Four will be 49ers, Packers, Eagles, and Lions. That'll be the Final Four in the NFC, barring any injuries. If you just put it straight down on paper right now and walk the games on out on a Madden video game, that'll end up being the Final Four in the NFC.
Or best team in the NFC.
Right. The South, you don't have much to worry about. A lot of them is retooling and regrowing, or even trying to plug and play until they can figure out what they want to do, become a restarting up a whole new system, or even, let's start it all over, or keep trying to push for veteran presence. Ain't too much in the South that you really got to be worried about. All of those teams were barely 500 or above. That reminds you of the old NFC East days when the Eagles was 8-1 and damn near made the playoffs. So again, it's you either in that rebuilding mode, or you got a young team coming up, or we're gonna make that push for the Super Bowl. And ain't too many other teams out there that are ready to make that push for the Super Bowl.
And y'all both mentioned earlier too about Detroit and Green Bay in that division. Whoever wins that division in that home field advantage is significant, because if Green Bay is able to have any games at Lambeau Field with the team that
any outdoors,
now, like come on, man, they're gonna control that environment. And Detroit better hope they don't have to play them in the playoffs, you know what I mean? And then vice versa, going into Ford Field, you know what I mean, with the young Packers team, it could be drastic too for them. So whoever wins that division, I feel that they got to beat up. I believe you said, Troy, they're gonna beat up on each other this year, and winning that division ain't gonna be an easy win. You can't just pencil in Detroit to win it or the Packers win it this year. They're gonna beat up on each other.
The black and blue division for a reason, man. There ain't too many teams that got outside areas that you're going to have to go to home to see. That's the one advantage that the Packers and the Eagles had. 49ers going to have great weather. The baddest weather it'll be in 49ers, it'll be rain.
Rain,
like last year.
Rain
out there in San Francisco if it's a championship game or something like that. But if they got to come to Philly, you're looking at snow or minus degree temperature. If you go to Green Bay, you're looking at snow or minus degree temperature. That's something that a lot of teams in the league not built for. Hell, every team in that North Division will have a dome in 3 years. The Bears are going to a roof over top of Soldier Field, so they about to be literally a dome team. So you'll never have to worry about it, right?
And Packers fans don't give away their ticket. They own
the team.
Yeah, they own the team. It's hard to get tickets in Packers with away teams, especially playoffs.
Man, you're not getting that. Some people waited 15, 20 years, passed down generation to get those tickets. I'm going to go to every game that I can go to, whether we good or bad.
Big facts. And we're going to get up out of here. We like 13, 14 minutes over the time frame. And I just want to let everybody know, don't forget, we're going to go live again. Make sure. And Troy, if you're available draft night, we want you to hop up on here, and most definitely Bone hopping up on here. We're going to have
we all going to be together probably.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right. Yeah, and we're gonna get a couple of other folks, and then I'm gonna get a couple of ex-Eagles that's gonna hop on here. One that I know most likely, and it's like 99% sure already locked in, is Zach McPherson. He gonna hop on with us. He hopped on with us last year. He gonna hop on with us also. And then I'm trying to get working some my magic with Eric Allen to hop on right now. So I'm just letting them know. So I'm working a little magic. I got a little under a month to make that happen, and then we're gonna get Chris Nady, aka the Jim McMahon of the Eagles fan club, and then the fan fanatic, Eagles fanatic also. So I got a lineup for us, and then we're gonna get the new group that's established on the West Coast, the Worldwide Eagles group. A couple of those, the vice president to hop on with us also. So we
right now, I'm gonna push that.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a decent show for our next show. We're gonna hop back on draft night, and we're gonna be live for the entire first round. Depending on how long it goes, we'll go into the second round or until it ends, you know what I mean, whatnot. But for sure, we're gonna be live for the entire first round, and we're gonna have a few guests come on, and we're gonna have Zach McPherson to be the guest during our pick at 22. So we're gonna actually have him hop on like around pick number 12, depending on how he's magic. You never know if he jump up or whatnot. So when we do pick, he's able to be on with us like he did last year. And
go get that tight end, Brock Bowers, man. Let's go get
yeah.
Brock Bowers out of Georgia, man.
That's
and make our offense unstoppable.
That's exactly what they're gonna try to do. So that's why I'm
move up.
Yep, that's why I'm trying to have him hop on like
up.
12.
Yeah, I'm willing to move up. Take the one we got this year, the one next year, and the third or fifth round this year, and let us get that pick and move up 10 spots and get Bowers. He a game-changing tight end, man. You don't find too many of them in the league.
And he coming off of an injury, so he kind of well rested, didn't go too far in the playoffs, all that good stuff. So
man, he been the best tight end in college for the last 3 years. He was as a freshman, a sophomore, and then an injury played junior season. He was still second or third best tight end in the country.
Big facts, big facts. Hey, Troy, I want to appreciate you for hopping on with us, and hopefully we see you draft night if your schedule permits it. You know what I mean? You're more than welcome to hop on anytime we do a show. And Bone, you know the invite is always there for you, my guy. We greatly appreciate you. And those that's watching, once again, like I say, I hope y'all available draft night to come tune in with us. We're gonna have a real decent show for y'all on draft night. And we appreciate y'all for coming on, man. Until draft night, we check y'all out next time. Greatly appreciate it.
All right.
Soundstripe.